morning, Singapore. Good afternoon and evening to all those people online. Welcome to day 3 of the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore, the final day of our League of Legends tournament, where these people over here and a couple others back there are going to be playing for $50,000. Does that excite you guys? The early newcomers? You're going to be fighting for it too. I'm your host, Jared Kale. I've been hosting the whole week, and I'm going to keep on doing that. And we have an analysis desk back there as well, full of really cool people that understand the game way better than I do. So I'm going to introduce them, pass it over to them, they can say hi to you, and they'll come back to me. So take it away, Demon.
Finals day. Ocelot and Daniel Klein joining me once again, and wow, what an exciting matches it could be today. Absolute legends to start with, the North American teams versus ITK Game. And it is ITK Game, no U on the end apparently. So I mean, we kind of be informal, I don't know, who knows, but we saw some fantastic matches yesterday, so this today is actually could well be a really good day of League of Legends.
Yeah, indeed, like the first day, we were a little bit hesitating, you know. Not sure how was the tournament gonna be, but yesterday was a really good day in terms of matches, and I really had a lot of fun.
And ITK Game were one of those crazy aggressive teams.
Yeah.
You remember that match that you and Joe, as always, with your
caster luck? It was just back and forth. Was it Bangkok Titans it was against? I think
no,
it was.
it was against the other. It was against the other Singaporean team, against Event Potion. Yes.
Yeah.
And as I say, you and Joe always get the best games. The two lane swaps and both at 3 minutes 30 at the exact same second. It's like, where am I looking? Where am I looking?
Yeah,
they
the exact same ganks as well.
They
it's like the jungler coming around the back into the turret. And I think there was only like level 2 or 3.
Yeah,
it was a pretty early fight. So
both dive, both kill, both destroy tower, and then a double kill in mid lane.
And then the mid lane kill each other. Yeah, exactly, with the passives. Twice that passive as well, the Zyra passive. So what are we expecting today? Are we expecting anything crazy from these teams? Absolute legends, the American team, obviously coming into this one. We saw Zaken on Malphite, some really incredible plays. And also, you pretty much guessed everything yesterday. So what are your predictions today?
I don't know. I think Medio Make is gonna reach the finals. I really think so. And I hope so as well, because I think they're one of the best teams of the tournament. And I really hope and guess today's games are going to be pretty even, most of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're all best of 3s today as well, so there's a chance that we could have 9 games today. It could be a long day for all of us.
Yep.
Most of all, I hope that ITK Game are as aggressive against the American team as they were yesterday against their Singaporean, their other fellow Singaporean team. Maybe that was just, you know, people in the scene who knew each other going at each other because they're like, yeah, we can push these guys. We know what they have. Maybe they're going to be a little bit more cautious against the Americans, who are going to be the big unknown for them. I hope not, though. I hope they go crazy.
But I mean, history tells us that you go aggressive against the Americans. They can't handle it.
That is true.
The Koreans have proven it in the past. The Asian teams that all go aggressive against the Americans. They like to have that long passive farm phase in the lanes to farm longer. I mean, Ocelot, is this something you guys have looked at? Obviously, after the Season 2 finals have come about, you know, we've seen all these different styles of play from the Asian scene, from the European scene, from the American scene. Is there any sort of particular method that you guys have gone, right, okay, we need to channel into this? I mean, I'm thinking back to, say, Loco Doco joining CLG, and he was like, we want to push towers quicker. But Chaucer's like, no, that's not how we do it. Is there been any, like, discussions like that within, say, SK Gaming?
Well, it's true that the more aggressive the opposite team plays, the more aggressive you have to play. For instance, how you counter M5 aggression.
Yeah.
Well, you saw it this last month. The only way to counter M5's aggression is with more aggression. So
which is not always easy to do.
It's not easy to do. I mean, you have to be a better team, of course. And yeah, that's probably my main thought. Like, if your opposite team is playing, like TSM, for instance, plays quite aggressive, you have to play even more aggressive to beat them.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't want to, same with CLG EU, I guess, you don't want to have them having that passive farm phase, which we saw overnight, Fnatic beating CLG. They went aggressive, they went that bruiser in the middle. Do you think we're going to maybe see a bruiser in the middle? It's something that started to happen a lot later. Is that something that you would maybe think about? Say, because they played Froggen played a Karthus and they went straight Lee Sin. Is that something that maybe you'd be thinking about as well?
So the point of having a bruiser mid lane is that bruiser is most likely never going to lose the mid lane. So you got lane domination right there. So if you want early domination, early mid game domination, then maybe having a bruiser mid lane is a good idea. Thing is, it doesn't fit CLG's EU playstyle because they are probably the most I mean, don't get me wrong, the boring team to watch in terms of like they always reach the late game minute 55, 60, whatever, you know, and that doesn't fit for a bruiser in mid lane.
Well, we do have to see that Froggen was, of course, the first one to bring out a bruiser mid lane in competitive play, and this Lee Sin was...
Yeah, but if you think about that, the first game he ever played with Lee Sin mid lane was a totally different game as we ever seen of CLG. Like they ended at minute 20 or something, which is not what it fits them. And maybe that game was good, but it doesn't fit their playstyle.
And I actually heard that it was the Jax that they ran in mid lane, and Lee Sin was in the jungle.
Oh, wow, really?
Lee Sin was top lane.
Oh,
and
they had some crazy switch around.
Yeah, I just spoke to the guys from Mim.
So moving on to this game, ITK Game, we've got Cryonics in there, which we've put forward for MVP. You know, he's been playing some pretty fantastic Diana. How are Absolute Legends going to maybe counter that sort of thing? I mean, how, if they were to go with any crazy picks, well, obviously we saw, we put Zakent in there for MVP as well. With his Malphite play, I mean, these are the sort of bounds that I guess the teams would be looking at to take away, you know, the Malphite, the Diana, etc., that they've had basically good performances in the group stage with.
Yeah, I mean, they really have to look out for that going combo. Honestly, it's really, really important to shut down that. And you need to have the counter for that. So if Yorick and Maokai are banned, you maybe have to look out for
Malphite coming,
yeah, you know what I mean? So they really have to look out for that.
So it's all about the first pick, we're thinking. But I guess without further ado, I'm pretty sure Jarrett must be ready with the players on stage. I've not heard anything, but hopefully we can get over to Jarrett on the stage to introduce these two teams. It is going to be Absolute Legends and ITK Game.
I am standing here with representatives from each of our first two semifinal teams, Absolute Legends NA and Itadakimasu, which I practiced saying for like 15 minutes. We're going to just chat with him for a quick second before we begin our game. Welcome to Singapore. Have you been here before, and what do you think about the city?
I've been here once before, but that was like a long time ago. But so far, our stay has been amazing. Everyone we've talked to has been really nice and supportive, and it's a great place to be.
Yeah, I love it myself. Now, you're from Singapore, so you live here, so I can't really ask you what you think of it. But are you feeling extra pressure as the hometown team?
Yeah, after everything that's happened after the past few days, like Armageddon and so on, we are really pressured to like perform to represent Singapore as a whole. So it's like we can't let our country down. After Armageddon put up like their performance, so we are quite disappointed. So we are here to try our best and win this competition for our country. Yeah, that's all.
Now you've had less than a day to prepare specifically for each other's teams. Is that enough time? Do you have something special planned for us? And what do you think your chances are?
We might have a few tricks up our sleeves, but yeah, we've just been doing some research, and I think we're pretty ready to go. I think our chances are pretty good.
And what about you? Do you have something really special planned?
We are saving one for maybe MOM, but we have something against them too. So yeah, be prepared.
Wow, already planning for the finals against MYM. I love hearing that.
Yeah, if we do win them. AL, yeah. So it'll be a tough fight. We did scrim against them, so we roughly know their standards. Like, it'll be tough. Yeah, but we'll still try our best.
Great. Now, do you have anything you want to say to your fans? Shout out to your sponsors.
Shout out to all our fans. Thanks to Team AL for sponsoring us. Thanks to Razer, Twitch TV, AE Energy Drinks, Orcbite, and Special Tech. And yeah, that's all.
And what would you like to say to all your fans and the Singaporeans here?
I would like to I want to thank Tofu Boy from SGS. He has been behind us throughout the tournament. So I really want to thank him, and as well as the Singapore community who has been supporting us. Yeah, that's all.
That's great. Well, good luck, have fun to both of you guys. Hope we see some great games. And back to the analysis desk.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to hear, good to see the smiles on both those players' faces. They were happy to be here in this environment. I mean, Ocelot, obviously you've been here on these stage matches before. I mean, the pressure that comes onto you. How much, you know, when you say you have to have those pre-game interviews, you know, you're trying to focus, you're trying to channel your energy into the game, and then it's like, can you do an interview? It's like, really?
Well, the thing is that before the game starts, you know, and you have to do that interview, you normally think about, okay, I want to say this because it's how I feel. But if I say it, what is the people going to think? Maybe they think I'm cocky or whatever, but you actually believe.
It could backfire on you.
You actually believe, you know what I mean? You actually believe you're prepared, and you actually believe you're actually, it doesn't have to do anything with being arrogant or whatever. You just are confident, you know? And you want to show it to the world, but you're not sure if you should, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the concerns. But yeah, normally you just take it easy and try to finish the interview as soon as possible because I want to play.
Just get on with it and talk a lot of rubbish and let's get off the stage quick and let's go. I mean, the players are pretty much readying themselves up. They're just going to get comfy and get ready to go. We always have that comfortable situation where we can just think of questions to ask these guys and just try and put them in a hot spot.
And you're happy if they talk back to you. You know, sometimes you get this players like, I don't want to talk in front of them again, but it's been getting better. You know, you have your specialists in certain teams where you always know, oh, that team is playing, I'm going to grab, you know, that guy because he's going to go and say something quote-worthy that's going to end up on YouTube and Reddit in 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, that is the case. The teams, so for example, with SK Gaming, do they always put you forward purposely for the interviews? Because I know you try and put Nif out there now and again.
Yeah, I do it sometimes, every time I can. But it's true that for an organization like SK Gaming, obviously they want to have somebody that can represent them properly.
Yeah, so here we go. Picks and bans underway and quick fires already. Aurelia and Jax being banned out, taking them bruises out, and Twisted Fate being taken away, and Blitzcrank
As
fairly
always.
standard. Quick fire, Rengar going down as well.
The most banned
Interesting that Rengar's been banned out in a lot of these games as well, yet even when he's not been banned, nobody's ever played it. It's just kind of carried over from that OP Rengar.
I actually think Rengar ganks mid lane are one of the strongest of the game. You know,
So you can just stealth in. And just
Yes,
and with Orianna, it's probably the best. I mean, it's 100% kill ratio.
It's a free shockwave.
Yeah.
It's a free ultimate on them. But there it is. Wow, quick fire. Shen being banned out and Diana being picked by Absolute Legends. That's interesting because obviously that's what Cryonics has been playing in a lot of the games.
And I wonder, Ocelot, do you agree with that, banning Twisted Fate and leaving Diana open?
I'm not so sure, but Twisted Fate is a good idea. As I said, it's not a champion I would be worried about because they are right now. They're like, you got Fizz, you got Karina, you got Diana. All three are really good against him and can create a lot of pressure. I'm not sure. They maybe just hate playing against him.
So Absolute Legends, of course, Malphite open. They're going to go for Maokai, so they're expecting it. How would you counter that?
Well, if they go for Maokai, I would never go for a full going setup, but I will definitely have some DPS damage. Irelia is banned, okay, so what is remaining? Jax is banned. Not so sure what they have, or maybe Olaf could be really good against this.
Would it make sense to go for a Lee Sin in the jungle just because you can shut down Malphite early game?
You mean Maokai, yeah.
Maokai, sorry.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense because Diana can create a lot of pressure with the W, with shield mid lane.
Yes! Your prophetism has rubbed off on me.
So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. This is a pure early game domination. If Diana is able to push Kaido's early levels, which I think if she's good enough, she will do it. The early game domination will be definitely for AL.
And when you say go in setup, you basically mean champions, dive champions is what we've been calling it, myself and Jat. You know, it's the phrase that's sort of coined that if someone's going in, say if Lee Sin goes in, lands that Q, he's going to go in, Diana's going to follow, Crescent Strike straight in, ulti straight in. So everybody that can follow dive in.
Normally the going setups have a team fight that lasts 10 seconds. The kiting setups have team fight that lasts 40 seconds. Poking setups.
So is that a case of
no team fight and poke for like 1 minute?
So as a play, you're going to dive in 10 seconds, everybody out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or everybody dead.
Or everybody
dead. Yeah. I mean, 10 seconds is a hell of a long time in League of Legends when you're in a big fight.
The problem of the going setups is that if you're not even or ahead, they don't work.
Okay, so Cookie Sona being picked and instantly locked in. Malphite and Graves, they are all getting the champions they want here, Absolute Legends. I am fearful for ITK Game.
Malphite against Maokai, though. That's exactly the combo that you've been talking about. You're saying that Maokai basically sort of negates some of the threat from Malphite.
Yeah, but right now it will all depend on how every lane wins or how much every lane loses, basically. Well, actually, if they pick Olaf, top lane is totally cornered as well. I mean, not only in lane, but in teamfights. So I'm not so sure about the Malphite pick. Yeah, Olaf corners Malphite.
Malphite can go to the jungle and Lee Sin could go to top lane. How about that?
Still, I think Olaf is stronger. I got that feeling.
So Team Comp's looking like they're going to get set in, and you've immediately mentioned the lockouts, the counters in the top lane. How are you seeing this developing?
I think, well, everything in top lane relies on ganks too much, but it's totally true that Malphite stands no chance against Olaf. So this is most likely going to be how top lane is going to look. Olaf is going to win it.
I just want to point out one thing. Seekan is one of the guys that we've been using internally as a candidate for maybe one of the MVP candidates because of his very strong Malphite play. If he manages to just stay alive in that top lane and not fall too far behind, he can still have an impact on the team fight with his ultimates. But then, of course, the question is, how much is Maokai going to negate that?
And another question I'd have there is, ITK Game, I think, were the ones that initiated the 2v1 the other day. Do you think that's something they might have in their mind here? Because Olaf's a very good 2v1
I was
champ.
exactly thinking about that. I think it would make a lot of sense, to be honest. So we'll see.
And one last thing, Karthus and Olaf both super strong in the very, very late game. I mean, Olaf becomes sort of unkillable, and Karthus of course
Olaf
a
is
hyper
good.
carry.
Karthus is not that good late game, actually.
You don't think he's good
No,
late game?
no.
Okay.
Especially against these pure going setups.
All right. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is the first match locked in. And without further ado, let's get over to our commentating duo. It is Joe Miller and Jason But I love you, Kaplan.
Yes, I actually love it when Demon does his sweet little but I love you Kaplan thing. It's really good. Jason, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, because I get to shave your head later.
I'm not sure I'm going to allow you to do that. I actually spent a lot of time just looking at my hair in the mirror this morning and thinking,
Oh, I don't want it to go.
I don't want it to leave just yet. It's been an emotional roller coaster that we've had together. But either way, it's going to get gone by the end of today, let's say. I'm not going to spoil it. Actually, I think it's already been on Twitter that it's going to be before the final, so whatever. So we are going to get into game then. Of course, Absolute Legends taking on ITK. It's a Dakimashu, and I'm going to just quickly, right at the start, get the scoreboard ready, because it's something that I always forget to do later on if I don't do it at the start anyway.
I always love watching you do the scoreboard. I really do.
So, Jason, we heard the predictions there from the analysis desk. What's your opinion on this one?
I'm really thinking Absolute Legends. I don't know. I've been really happy with their play. Really surprised at how well they've been doing. Zeke in the top lane that they were mentioning, playing a very strong Malphite, pretty much the candidate for MVP for Absolute Legends. And I'm hope to see also him play one of his secret champions, which hasn't really been announced or shown yet. But I guess that will be shown obviously later. If they lose this game, might have to whip it out, or maybe in the finals. But what about you, Joe?
It's a hard one to call. ITK, we heard there on the stage that they've got a little, well, more than a little bit of pressure on them, I think, to really bring this one home for the Singaporean fans. I mean, to see them go into the final, Absolute Legends, the only US team here at the tournament, the team which I guess the hopes of America lie on, Jason.
Yep.
Jason's like, yep.
America.
It definitely is that way. So both teams got a bit of pressure, I'd say. I don't know. I like Absolute Legends lineup. The Slushy's Diana is pretty fantastic. So we'll have to see if this Karthus can deal with things in the middle lane. But Minion's going to spawn in there, and it looks like we may not see too much action in the early stages. Slushy here just trying to cause a few problems by the Wraith. I guess going to queue over the top there and try and steal himself away something, but that doesn't quite happen. And just helps out Maokai do it faster.
And Joe, I always like talking to you about this. Where do you think all the action's really going to go down in this game? Because sometimes you don't want to just come in at the last second and miss the action happening.
Middle lane.
Middle, yep.
Yeah. Diana's one of those champions, the whole assassin with gap closing abilities right on top of Karthus. I think that's going to be something to watch out for as these lanes start to develop. Meanwhile, we are seeing Yoda here doing his red buff. Maokai also starting red and is going to head down. They're going to just switch sides of the jungle. So top lane, Malphite versus Olaf. Jason, what's your opinion on this lane?
Well, as Ocelot was saying, it's pretty much going to go heavily in favor of Olaf unless you see a lot of jungle interaction. I mean, Olaf with that true damage completely counters that Malphite, but the top lane always just comes down to, hey, how much is your jungler going to be up there to help you out? It really never comes down to one-on-one anymore because people just love ganking that lane. It's so easy to get in there, and yet it's just, I don't know. I mean, it just really depends against that early advantage. Olaf will obviously be a little bit better late game after that Malphite ultimate goes down and the attack speed debuff goes down. He can just run through the enemy team with that ghost, with that ultimate up, and just try to stick to one of the AD carries, or maybe even just kill Spellsy off before he even gets his ultimate.
And one thing I just want to ask, not really to the people, more to the production crew, is to turn the sound up in our headphones, because number one, I'm going to strain my voice. Number two, can't really hear Jason or the game itself, so that would be really nice if we could have a bit more game sound. And our voices a bit louder in the headphones as well. That would help me out a lot. So anyway, after all that, we see there in that top lane, bit of an exchange between Malphite and Olaf, which, well, they're burning through pots left, right, and center. We can see here 2 points in the undertow already. Sorry, in Reckless Swing, and 1 in undertow at the start. Pretty standard against a Malphite in that lane. Meanwhile, in the middle, the early CS in the favor of Diana. Obviously, Karthus just wants to be really careful at this early stage. Not going to overextend himself. Going to be playing very, very safe.
Yeah, I think actually I was talking to Ocelot yesterday about Diana. He says around level 7 is where she becomes really deadly, is where she really can start going in on the other AP carry and pretty much take them out. As we did see, Yoda on Lee Sin actually invaded a little bit, took away the big Wraith, tried to check red just to see if D-Dan took it, which he obviously did. But one thing we should touch on is Malphite's teleport. We always talk about how teleport kind of is a useless summoner unless you make something happen with it.
We saw a Malphite yesterday, I can't remember exactly, or it may have even been the first day, a teleport in Malphite that then ulted straight away as his teleport landed. But other than that, yeah, you make a correct point there, that if you don't utilize that teleport, you're probably going to have thought, well, Ignite against this Olaf may have been the better choice overall.
Yeah, well, bot lane, I mean, they're just farming away. We have Corki with, you know, the sustain from Sona in that bottom lane, while Robert, Exley, and Spellsy kind of just trying to poke him away with that Glitter Lance, which I know you hate so much, Joe, just because it's basically a snare. It's just, your 80% slow is basically just a snare.
They say it's a slow, but it's actually a snare.
Yeah.
It really is. But yeah, that's one thing that they've got to be a little bit worried about. Obviously, Corki has that escape mechanism with his Valkyrie, but the thing is, if Sona gets slowed, I mean, she's not the quickest anyway to start with, and then you've got the Buckshot, the quick draw coming out of Graves. He can do a lot of damage very, very quickly, very bursty, and that's something they really need to watch out for here at ITK in these early stages of the game. Don't want to be feeding that Graves up, that's for sure. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we just see Karthus there taking away those wraiths, something that we see from a lot of these mid lane champions. Just taking them away from their jungler, giving that extra boost for the gold and the experience. So far, 5.5 minutes in, no first blood as of yet, which is, you know, in stark contrast to some of the games that we've actually seen, which, well, I guess if we even go that far, some of the games were almost over by now.
Which ones were those, Joe?
I'm not going to name any names, Armageddon.
Well, the top, and actually Olaf is getting ganked here by Lee Sin.
Yeah, we are going to see the push in there on towards Olaf. He's only level 5, so doesn't have that ultimate, but you see he popped his Ghost, which is, you know, just as good as, if not better, in there as well. So Slushie here coming up towards this top lane. Are they going to try and take down this tower? Actually, Olaf has gone all the way off towards that Golem side. He will be spotted there by Lee Sin, who's just trying to get rid of these golems. Will steal the big one and leave the small one. Meanwhile, Maokai is going to try and get in on towards this bottom lane. There was a ward to spot his position though, so it won't be too bad. And I've missed first blood. Good job, Joe.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention this. Smart play.
Totally going back.
All right.
Thank God for the replay function, that's all I can say. Yeah, that was an interesting choice. I mean, with Diana missing there, Olaf going straight in, I mean, he's done good damage on towards Yoda, and I think he might have actually died there from the last tick of the Ignite anyway, even if Karthus hadn't used his ultimate, so let's speed back up.
Back Karthus taking the kill. But either way, though, Yoda was playing very smart. He took the big golem away from Maokai because he saw him in that bot lane, in that tri-bush with that ward, which is exactly what you want to do as a jungler. If you see that you know, jungler in your side trying to go for a gank, why not invade as much as possible, deny him a lot of CS and a lot of money. But we do have Maokai. He does have his Philo Stone, so he's already working on his GP10, and we have Lee Sin already has his Razor. So we could see an early dragon coming out of them if we have a pink ward going for that, or else just going to keep farming away. I mean, we always talk about Lee Sin, how late game he seems so not useful. I mean, he has the kick, and he has the movement speed slow, but that's almost it. I mean, he really falls off hard late game. And I kind of want to touch on Absolute Legends with their late game composition, having that Malphite to go in and knock him up. You have Sushi to go in to moonfall them all together, and then you have Spellsy to knock him right back up with the ultimate. And we've seen that happen quite a bit this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if they get that far. I mean, once they hit this level 6 with Diana and Malphite in there as well, Lee Sin's going to be joining the party a lot. So I think they want to try and dominate this middle game so that the late game should be safe for them, as we are going to see Malphite going in here on towards Olaf, not having a gank as of yet. That blue buff just been started off by Lee Sin, which will obviously be gifted over to Diana in that middle lane.
Well, speaking of the top lane, I mean, if Zeke and Teleport, if he had Ignite, he could kill him right now. If he had that Ignite. Unfortunately, he doesn't because he's running that Teleport. So he's got to make it useful somewhere. We need to see maybe an early Dragon come out of Absolute Legends to really make that Teleport worth it. You know, push the lane in, Teleport down there, take it, get that extra gold income. But Slushie trying to come around for Olaf again, but he will just walk away. He's currently sitting at level 5 to Malphite, who's level 7, so he's being denied quite a bit. And Diana here is going to get caught.
Yeah, going to go in there. Is he going to get the kill onto Olaf? Yes, he is, but he will fall here to Maokai, and there goes the ultimate out from Zekken, and it's a little bit too late to try and get to stop his teammate from going down. Not sure that he's really got the damage. Certainly doesn't have the mana, even if he did have the damage here, to take down that Maokai.
Yeah, another gank out of Diana, actually, the bot lane. It's like Corki being taken out by Robert X. Lee as he does pop that cleanse to get that ignite off of him. And now they're trying to go for Sona, Joe.
Yeah, there we see the ultimate actually popped, and there is a double kill for Graves. That is not what they needed in this bottom lane. Obviously, after losing that one in top, obviously Diana did go down, but doubled her kills from that. And that will leave us then. Already you can see Graves was in the lead with CS. This is only going to extend now that he's got that free reign in this bottom lane. Plus 200. Let's have a look at how much gold. Yeah, he's sat on almost 1,200 gold already, so he's not that far away from being able to pick up a BF sword if that's the direction he actually decides to go for.
We should actually talk about CS because there's some huge advantages building already, Joe. I don't know, I kind of like you going over to CS, but all right. But we do have Malphite in the top lane. I mean, he's sitting at 54 to Olaf at 32, which, I mean, we've seen a lot of ganks come in the top lane already. Diana's been up there quite a bit. In the mid lane, Diana 67 to Karthus' 84. So, I mean, that's kind of expected, though, because Karthus obviously farms the race as much as possible. Diana can do it as well, but since he's been roaming around so much, he hasn't been able to. And the bot lane, with that double kill on the Graves now, sitting at 71 CS to Corki 64. So, overall, Absolute Legends just has that lead they need right now. And they already have a stronger team fight composition. It's just a matter of time before they start team fighting and really taking this game in their favor.
They're coming in towards his top lane. They're going to let Malphite tank that turret up, and they're going in once again on towards Olaf, who will pop his ultimate, but, well, ultimate pop may be, but is this ultimate? Yes, it will. No, not quite, not quite.
38 health.
Yeah, 38 HP he survives with that one. Meanwhile, here in the middle, we are seeing Lee Sin trying to take out Karthus. He knows that once that wall of pain goes down, that he probably can't stand and bang with it. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, going very, very low there, Spellsy almost being taken down. That final rocket from Corki not connecting. I'm surprised that Absolute Legends
teleport coming
aren't backing away. Yeah, there is the teleport. Where is the ultimate out of Zeken?
Oh.
It's going to surely come up here any second. No, they decide not to go for it as Corki picks up the kill.
Yeah, he just threw a rocket in, and Spellsy kind of overextended himself there and got killed. But that teleport, that's what we're saying. He has to make it worth it, and he does. And one thing I really want Ocelot to touch on in the analysis is about Diana's roaming and how beneficial it really is. He's been up to top lane 3 times. Is it really worth it? Yeah, he's gotten some kills in the top lane. He's denied Olaf quite a bit, sitting at almost half the CS of Malphite at the moment. But Diana, doing what Diana does. Instead of Katarina, it's Diana.
Yeah. And that's the danger. I mean, Slushy obviously is an expert Diana player. And what is Maokai doing here? He needs to get away. And, oh, he's lucky that they didn't connect the Q from Lee Sin and from Diana. Not landed in onto him. But that will leave us with a 4-1-0 Diana. She must be sat on a good chunk of gold. Actually, no, on 450. She went back earlier on to finish off those Sork shoes. Graves did come back into lane there. Double Doran's Blade. Berserker Greaves. Actually, did he even leave the lane there? No, he didn't. So he's up to 1,500. I was going to say, I talked about that a little bit earlier on. But we do see that once again pushing in. There is the first turret of the game going down. It's an important one, that middle lane, as we are going to see Maokai coming back in. I told the story that he survived that last assault from Lee Sin and Diana. Not quite so lucky this time around. And he's given double buff over onto Diana if a 5-1-0 Diana wasn't already enough.
Yeah, they've been doing so much denying to D-Dan right now. I mean, he's sitting 20 CS lower than Lee Sin right now, and not to mention about a level and a half currently behind. And Lee Sin obviously just thrives off this early game, off his ganks, which he's been doing very well. How this Diana get 5-1, and that Abyss Scepter is going to be done when she goes back. I mean, can Karthus, can he fight this? No, he doesn't have his Rod of Ages done yet. He's not tanky enough, which he has to. He's being forced into that Rod of Ages just because of the Malphite initiate, Diana because she's an assassin, not to mention the Lulu knockup. But Corki's sitting on 2/3 of his Triforce. We have Graves, has that BF sword, has that Berserker Greaves. Going to be building, I want to say, into a Bloodthirster first, since he needs an extra sustain just to be curious, since Olaf, or just to be careful, sorry, if Olaf does rush into him. But with how far Olaf is behind, does it really matter?
Yeah, he is a massive amount behind. I mean, 82 to 48 CS. That turret is going to fall out. I wonder if Malphite's actually going to try and kill him with this one. There's the ultimate coming down from Olaf, but you can see he's pretty much slowed constantly. I said the ultimate wasn't actually.
I was like,
the ghost coming out at the end. But nonetheless, he will be safe from that one. And that will be no kill for Malphite. But he is completely bullying this top lane out. And one thing that Ocelot mentioned, technically, he should have the advantage in that top lane, the Olaf.
Bot lane,
but
Joe.
They've given them so much help in this top lane that it's really hard, as we are going to see Diana go in there, pulls both of them around. There is the kill onto one of them. Diana is super tall from that Lulu ultimate, and there is the double kill for Diana, 7-1-0. And this is looking to be a little bit of a one-side affair in favor of Absolute Legends, who are looking so strong today, Jason.
Yeah, that really just shows Slushy's mastery of Diana. I mean, he ulted in, knowing you know, he wouldn't really need the second charge of it since he had the Moonfall hit, or sorry, the Crescent Strike hit. But then he flashed in, Moonfalled them all together, and with that little ultimate, just kept them slow, long enough for the team to come in there. So great play to that. They turned it into a tower. They got 2 kills, turned it into a tower, and a dragon. So that just takes their gold lead, you know, up to 7,000 right now, which is an insane amount 14 minutes in.
Yeah. Right now, Olaf trying his best to farm his way back into the game, but here we go, Unstoppable Force. Diana is there. Karthus is going to get popped, and Maokai, I'm not sure it's his best decision to stay around, as we do see Malphite going a little bit low. The rest of Absolute Legends a little bit slow to react up to that one, but we see Robert Lee already pushing this bottom lane up towards that inner turret, and he's doing damage to the tower as well.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for Ikitaki Mas. They can't afford to lose any more towers just with how far they are behind. Not to mention the map control they're going to lose, but Lee Sin trying to go in behind right now. Sitting on that Oracle will spot that ward. But Sona and Corki, they have to concede this tower. Olaf and the top lane trying to come down to help, but it will be too late. Yeah. Having these 4 members down here for Absolute Legends, but Robert looks like he's going to back out right now, sitting on enough money for his Bloodthirster. And they say that he stops, Joe. Commentator's curse. And
Maokai is also maybe going to get caught out here. Is he going to be able to escape from this one? Gets polymorphed up and will go down, and it's another kill for Slushi on Diana, and that is a horrible bit of position from Sona, but the Karthus ultimate may change the swing of this one as the kill does come down, and Diana going to be finished off there by Olaf. Spellsy now in a bit of trouble as well. One more rocket out of Corki is all it needs. He actually Valkyrie's in, and they've gone the wrong way. Spellsy completely fooling him out. I'm not sure why they both went the same direction with him only needing 1 hit. It would have been a lot better if they'd have split up there, but credit to Spellsy for getting out. I mean, he didn't really do anything special, but yeah, credit to him anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the meantime, Zekin pushing this top lane, so yeah, they went to defend that bottom second turret, but they might potentially lose this top one now. Maokai will be there in time to stop it though, but still, having that top turret down about half health, they have the bottom turret down to a third health. I mean, if they just keep 5-man pushing, there's nothing that Ikitaki Mas can do about this. And Olaf's still down almost 60 CS at the moment. Corki down, I mean, he closed the gap a little bit. Diana and Karthus still relatively close, just about 30 CS behind, but still, I mean, that top lane, that is so devastating as an Olaf. Yeah, you can keep farming the rest of the game, drag the game out a little bit just so you get the items you need, but with a stronger team comp on Absolute Legends, will that really matter for them?
Yeah, look at the gold difference here as well. Diana 7,000 to the 4,500 of Karthus. That is a huge difference. Top lane 5,000 to 4,200. AD carries 6,000 to 4,000. So overall, over the entire map, that's a big advantage, as we are going to be seeing here. A bit of trouble possibly. Do they know that the rest of the team's there? Yes, there is a ward inside of that brush, which will be actually taken out there. Obviously, the Oracle on Lee Sin.
Sorry about that. I saw Malphite actually teleporting in there, so I thought we were going to see maybe a team fight happening. He did have that ultimate up, but just still in that red buff way, just denying as much as possible. And Maokai, who's still being denied so much, sitting at level 9. We see Yoda currently at level 10, but look at the item difference. He has his Wriggles done, almost has his Aegis, and Maokai's just sitting on those boots mobility and 2 GP10, which the boots mobility right now are almost useless because he can't. The lane length is over, and he can't really afford to engage more. He has to play defensive.
That's great positioning from Slushi as well. Putting that ward down here, it's going to stop Olaf from being able to do anything on towards this upper inner turret. And actually, Diana going to go in here. Not sure that she'll be able to secure a kill, but taking health away from Olaf will again open up more possibilities. What is Malphite doing? That was a great flash away though from Didan. Baited it. I'm not sure that he really did. I think he was just caught out of position there more than anything else, but didn't get hit by that unstoppable force. But now Cryonics could have a bit of bother as well. They're in between 2 turrets currently, but with those item advantages that they've got, they're just tanking up the turret hits like it's nobody's business.
Well, the item and level advantage. I mean, you have Malphite 3 levels ahead of Olaf at the moment. You have Diana 12 to Karthus 11, even Graves 12 to 10. So, I mean, if they weren't strong enough with items, they also have the extra skill points for the stronger base damages.
And, you know, Graves, this whole time, has been farming and pushing this bottom lane.
Yeah.
The whole time. Doing a fantastic job there. Absolute Legends actually all going to go home now by the looks of things. They're all sat on quite the chunk of gold. And what are they going to be buying out? There's a needlessly large rod, plus the chain vest turned into that, of course, that Zhonya's Hourglass. So Abyssal Scepter, Zhonya's Hourglass, picking up the elixirs in there as well. Malphite already got that Frozen Heart finished. as ITK already headed down here towards Dragon. I'm not sure exactly on the timer for that, but they certainly feel that it's coming up soon. The pink ward, it will be put down by Sona as well, but Absolute Legends, you know, that shop that they've just done there has added so much more power to them again.
Yeah, it's basically, if you look at what they're buying, Christmas lights, because they had so many new items coming, so many wards bought for the entire team as well. They're sitting on 4 wards total. 3 members have that single ward, but, you know, we always talk about how support's are the only ones that need to ward. You have to ward as anything, you know, in any lane if you're protective here. But Absolute Legends going for that Baron at the moment. I'm not really sure they need to do that. If we saw you know, a cheeky steal coming out of Ikitaki Masi,
They got no idea that they're doing it, that's the thing.
Yeah, that is the thing. But you can kind of assume right now, since they don't see anyone on the map except this Malphite, as Olaf and Malphite trying to come in to stop it, or trying to check it, but obviously a little too late.
Yeah, and they've got good vision here inside of the jungle. Actually, they've got wards pretty much all over the place. There's saplings from Maokai is all that they've got in that top side of the jungle. Baron is now on. We're about to hit the 20-minute mark of the game, but still, Absolute Legends looking so far ahead. 34 to 22,000 gold. That is a massive lead.
Yeah, and we're just seeing, I remember yesterday Demon asked a question when I was on the analysis desk about, you know, sacrificing that mid tower for Dragon, and we talked about how the map control you get from it just sets you so far behind, and we're seeing it right now with all outer turrets down. Ikitaki Mouse can't even afford to go into their own jungle to farm. They're just waiting for Absolute Legends to just push the lanes in so they can get some sort of farm, some sort of gold income to start picking up their items. Corki, you know, 20 minutes in, finally has his Triforce as his first item, but that's it. I mean, Karth is still sitting on his Rod of Ages, and no one else has a major item built yet.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be wanting to push this middle lane out. Even Lulu's like almost taking down a full wave of creeps with Glitterland, so yeah, not the best position for ITK to be in. But don't forget, this is a best of 3, this semi-final, so even if you mess up here, you've still got a chance. But there we go, Diana going in just far too easily. That was like not even a contest.
Was there a champion there?
Yeah. There was a Sona, you can see it crumpled on the floor, all dead. But they're going to come in there, almost ignoring the damage that ITK are putting out. There's the kick coming in on towards Olaf. Can they finish him off? Karthus is surely going to get caught up in the mix. Maokai will be the next one to fall. Wow, Malphite actually all over the place there with his ultimate. Didn't really land anything. But Absolute Legends have picked up 3 kills. They've freed up these towers. I'm kind of surprised that they're not pushing in, as there is Slushi again. And will use his Sonya's Hourglass.
I think that was for style points, Joe. But with having, you know, 3 members down for about 20 seconds on Ikitaki Mouse, it should be 2 inhibitors. Especially since there's this Baron buff, they can, you know, get all this regen off of it. Karth is doing some good for us to spell it, but it's not going to be enough Sushi going in.
Yeah, and you see the damage there coming out. I mean, Sona got no chance to stay alive. I wonder if they're actually going to die for you. I mean, this first Nexus turret is going to take a lot of damage, and I think they can even still fight. Even with the health that they've got, they are going to fight this one out. There is Maokai being taken down by Malphite. Sona the next target, and again, she just dies without anything being able to do anything. There's another kill for Diana now, 13-4. Hey, Karthus ultimate, that may force them out. Is he going to get a kill? No, not quite. I mean, he's got Rod of Ages and Sorcerer Shoes right now, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really what you want to see on a card this 21 or 22 minutes into the game. But, you know, we've seen Sushi go in on Sona over and over and over, and the reason for that is he's sitting on 49 spell penetration. Look how much magic resist Sona has, sitting on 50. So he's basically doing true damage to him. That's why he's just blowing him up so quickly, not to mention a level 9 Sona to a level 15 Diana. You're not going to survive even if they didn't have that penetration.
And there we go, once again, Unstoppable Force comes down, another kill coming out for Graves. Obviously that first Nexus turret is already down, and surely they can't hang on to this one, ITK. There is the second Nexus turret. Malphite actually flashing over to put some aggression down, but the Nexus down to half HP. There is the dive in from Absolute Legends. They want more kills. They're not satisfied with just winning the game. Slushi actually getting hit there by the fountain. Will pop his Zonyas, and that will be just enough time for them to finish off the Nexus. And Absolute Legends going to clean shop here in game number 1. 22-4, 45 to 25,000 gold. Hard one to really talk about, Jason, because it was a one-way street.
Yeah, it was. And Ikitaki Mouse in the pre-game interview, they talked about having something secret, for Meet Your Makers, but
they
obviously
need to do it now.
Yeah, obviously, if they don't get to, if they don't win this series, they're not going to be able to try it anyway. So they need to take out or use every single strategy they possibly have hidden, and just put it all to, or well, I can't say the word right. I'm not going to even say it, but just pretty much give it their all.
Well, we're going to pass it back over towards the analysis desk, and I'm sure Ocelot's going to talk a lot about Diana.
It's not so much Diana, that's the thing. It was Olaf Malphite, that was the key. And honestly, that's a round, that's really one you shouldn't lose.
Yeah, I mean, Olaf is supposed to win that lane pretty hard, but it's totally true that the only reason Olaf didn't shut down that lane, or apart from second, playing super good, was Diana, man. Diana went top lane, got the first blood, went top lane again, got the second blood, went top lane again. You know, it just Diana
continued to roll, yeah. But the bottom lane as well was a pretty one-sided affair as well. While things were happening in that top lane, again there was kills happening in the bottom lane. So both lanes really all across the board, the whole map was pretty much a one-sided match, which is what you get when the snowball starts to happen. Once one lane starts winning, they all start getting the confidence, and they just all played so well, despite the fact they were against the Karthus in that mid lane.
Yeah, Karthus played his game. I mean, Karthus just farmed. He tried to help as much as possible with the ulti, but Diana just outroamed too much. I mean, I think he left the lane 8, 10 times. Just too many times.
And sometimes Karthus did get the turnaround kill with his ultimate, but there was one instance where I think the Malphite survived with 13 health or something like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. So we do have one clip.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay that you had here. Really, it's all about the first blood, and this is where it started to go wrong. I mean, as obvious as that sounds, this is where things started to go backwards. Olaf already on the retreat.
And this was right after a Malphite gank, so he was pretty low. What he didn't expect was for Diana to come up there as well. So he just tries to go back to his lane and be safe, and it doesn't work out so well for him.
Well, I mean, he just thought there was just the jungler there, and then as soon as he comes in, it's like surprise. And there's not a lot
you could say
do
this was
about
the
it.
game, actually. You could actually said this was the beginning of this noble. Top lane lost basically 2 levels.
And Zaken didn't even get involved in that.
If I may just jump forward to one more place, so we go forward to the 8:20 seconds mark, and guess what? Same thing happens again. Diana comes top and even dives under the tower. Maokai is going to pick up the turnaround kill. It doesn't matter. Slushy just starts the snowball at this point, and he just ran away with it.
And again, top lane loses 1 level and a half and a lot of tower damage.
And already at that point, you can see the CS 51 to 29. Things were slipping away very early on in that lane. So that's where the problems really, what we felt, lied. And of course, there's the couple of kills down in that bottom lane. They suddenly got the advantage. Robert Leon Graves did a fantastic job. And look, Spellsy there with the ultimate, just keeping Sona exactly where it was. Perfect support play as well. So all the lanes winning out. How do ITK Mas come back from this one? How do they reply? How do they respond? They're going to get the first pick this time, the first pick and ban. So what would you do? I mean, we saw Cryonics with Diana the other day played very well. And like you mentioned, obviously they didn't want to ban it because they wanted to play it. But Absolute Legends were quick to take that straight away.
I think the setup they picked, I think the setup ITK Mas played was a little bit too passive setup, a control setup you could say. And they relied too much on Maokai getting kills for Olaf top lane. And if that doesn't happen,
yeah, I mean, once you start losing all the lanes. So what would you ban against the next main? I mean, other than the generic bans we've seen.
Now ITK Mas got first pick as first, no, right? So they might be able to first pick Diana. So maybe AL has to ban Diana. We will see. Maybe they got something prepared against Diana. Something really good against Diana is a 2v1 situation in mid lane. But that is that is not so common nowadays. Nobody knows that yet. But when people start to get know how to counter Katarina, Diana face, the best way is 2v1 mid lane. But then you have to have in mind something. You need an AP that can go bottom lane 1v2. Could be AP Cho'Gath, could be Morgana maybe.
What do you need from the AP so that he can go 1v2 bottom lane? What does he need to have?
He needs to have patience.
Well, I mean in the kit, in the character, in the champion.
He needs to have, Morgana for instance has the passive with some spell bump. He has the W, which makes her be able to farm on the tower. Or Cho'Gath, which has the passive as well and can farm on the tower. Those two are actually one of the only APs that can go bottom lane. Katarina can go bottom lane as well, I would say.
And it's interesting you mentioned Morgana, because Morgana's a hero we've not seen a great deal of lately, and yet it used to be banned for a long period of time, and then just seems to be forgotten about. Is that because Diana's come along and is just stronger than the Aria's out there, Orianna, these champions that people have just picked up and become so good with?
Well, Morgana is a champion that the NA scene used to love, and that was because the early game provided by her is just too good. The bad point of her is that she has to rush no matter what, Zonias, no matter what, and that.
Unless you're Froggen and want to throw a game. There was a very nice Frog and Morgana game where he just went straight for the Rabidons and.
Well, he didn't play bad actually.
No, he didn't play bad, but yeah, it was. It never
But yeah,
really
that's what I mean.
engaged.
NA scene used to love Morgana, but then people realized that Morgana is a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
It's just one-trick
As soon
pony.
as he comes in, everybody disperses straight out the way.
She has the worst late game, well, probably after LeBlanc, but she has the worst late game as AP of the game.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm terrible on it. I can farm great with it, with that pull, but I can't kill anyone to save my life with it because it just never seems to have the burst damage that the likes of Orianna, Diana have to just finish off that champion. The quick 100 to 0, just completely nail them if you go up a lane.
Well, actually, the only reason that Morgana is that strong early game is because maybe I'm wrong, okay, but I think she's the only champion of the game. With Malzahar, yeah, that can push the lane without Bane in the lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you go to level 4
Just
W,
pull the pull
you can
and off you
actually
go.
pull the pull, and you will keep 3 creeps for you for sure. Plus maybe you're lucky and get 1 or 2 millis, and you can just roam.
And you can just sit on the tower, go roaming, whatever. And same with Malzahar, like you said, just puts the dot down, goes walking.
So yeah, I think Morgana and Malzahar are the only 2 that can do that.
And Malzahar's the champion that we haven't seen in a long time in competitive
He needs a
play.
little bit of rework. I'd say he needs, for instance, the E to be instant and not make you stop. Or he needs a little bit more range on the ulti. We'll see. Like, I think that hero needs a rework.
Well, I think we changed the ultimate recently so that the Quicksilver Sash only breaks the leash. You still need to walk out of leash range, so it doesn't break the damage anymore.
It's still, the thing is that if you think about it, when you use the Malzahar ultimate, you are ultimating yourself as well as Malzahar.
Yeah, because you're suppressing both yourselves. Yeah, you're putting yourself in a position. It's a champion we're probably not going to see. Who are we likely to see in this game? Are we going to see? I don't even recall seeing an Ari this whole tournament.
I did. We did see an Ari. I'm pretty sure one Ari. It wasn't too successful. Did we see an Ari? Or maybe I was watching DreamHack.
I'm absolutely certain I've not seen an Ari.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
Maybe I was watching.
It was DreamHack yesterday. It was DreamHack yesterday.
Yeah. You guys are having delusions of grandeur. There is no other tournament, ladies and gentlemen, happening right now. You should be watching the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore. That's what you should be doing.
DreamHack's over.
It is over.
We're fine.
Congratulations to Fnatic.
Well done. Thanks for spoiling the entire stream.
That's okay. No problem. They've all seen it anyway. So we're going to be moving into the next match. So it's